What is already Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star guide, and today I'm here with the full build guide for the first character of the 3.3 update, being Hyacine. So this video I'm going to be taking you over her kin Eidolons, which will also include her Memosprite details for its attacks and talent. Then I'll be taking you over some Lightcone options, followed by that will be Relic sets and Planar ornament options, and then finally Mainstat and Substat recommendations for the Relics themselves. I plan on having a full build guide for every new and returning character in the 3.3 update, so you are now watching the Hyacine one. If you are interested in the Herda, if you're interested in Cypher, or also interested in Aglia, I will have build guides coming out for them later this week. So if you want to have a build guide for them, just stay tuned, as I will once again have one later this week. That's all I want to say before I get into the video. If you guys found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new and haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn the bell for future videos like this, along with all other types of Star content and guides, and let's get straight into the video. So Hyacine is a wind character following the path of remembrance. Her basic attack deals wind damage equal to 50% of Hyacine's max HP to one designated enemy. Her skill summons Memosprite Little Ika, restores HP equal to 8% of max HP plus 160 for all allies aside from Little Ika, and restores HP equal to 10% of Hyacine's max HP plus 200 for Ika. Her ultimate summons the Memosprite Little Ika and restores HP equal to 10% of Hyacine's max HP plus 200 for all allies aside from Ika, and restores HP equal to 12% of Hyacine's max HP plus 240 for Ika. Hyacine enters the after rain state for 3 turns afterward, reduces the state's duration by 1 turn every time Hyacine's turn begins. When in after rain state, increases max HP for all allies by 30% plus 600. For talent, the Memosprite Little Ika initially has max HP equal to 50% of Hyacine's max HP. When Hyacine or Ika provides healing, increases Ika's damage dealt by 80% for 2 turns and stacks up to 3 times. The technique: at the start of the next battle, restores HP equal to 30% of Hyacine's max HP plus 600 for all allies and increases their max HP by 20% for 2 turns. Now for the Memosprite skills: deals wind damage to all enemies equal to 20% of the tally of healing done by Hyacine and Little Ika in the current battle, then clears 50% of tally of healing. The Memosprite talent: Little Ika's speed remains at 0 and is immune to debuffs, and they will not appear on the action order bar. If ally targets except Ika have their HP reduced, then Ika will consume HP equal to 4% of their own max HP and restore HP equal to 2% of Hyacine's max HP, plus 20 for the ally target with reduced HP at the start of any target's turn or after any target takes action. While Hyacine is in the after rain state, Little Ika immediately obtains 1 extra turn and automatically uses Rain Cloud's time to go after Hyacine uses an ability. Moreover, when Ika triggers their talent's healing effect, additionally restores HP for all ally targets by an amount equal to 2% of max HP plus 20. After Ika uses an ability, all continuous effects duration decreases by 1. And then the 2 enhanced things it does have: the first one is when summoned, additionally regenerates 15 energy for Hyacine, and when first summoned, additionally regenerates 30 energy. And the other one is upon disappearing, advances the action of Hyacine by 30%. For bonus traces, her A2 increases Hyacine and Ika's crit rate by 100%. When providing healing to an ally target with less than or equal to 50% of this unit's max HP, increases Hyacine and Ika's outgoing healing by 25%. Her A4 increases Hyacine's effect res by 50%. When using skill and ultimate, dispels 1 debuffs from all allies. And her A6, when Hyacine's speed exceeds 200, increases her and Ika's max HP by 20%. Then, for every 1x's speed, increases Hyacine and Ika's outgoing healing by 1%, and up to a maximum of 200x's speed can be taken into account for this effect. For her Eidolons, her E1, when Hyacine is in the after rain state, additionally increases the max HP of all allied targets by 50%, and immediately restores HP equal to 8% of Hyacine's max HP after using an attack. Her E4, when any ally target's HP decreases, this unit's speed increases by 30% for 2 turns. Her E4, the tempestuous halt trace is enhanced. For every 1 speed exceeded, additionally increases Hyacine and Ika's crit damage by 2%. And her E6, Little Ika uses Memosprite skill and changes the amount of healing tally cleared to 12%. When Little Ika is on the field, increases all allies all-type res pen by 20%. When it comes to Lightcone options for Hyacine, there is only 2 that I primarily recommend, and obviously the best one is going to be her own signature Lightcone, which increases the wearer's speed by 18%, and when the wearer uses basic attack, skill, or ultimate, consumes all allies' HP equal to 1% of their current HP, and additionally deals 1 instance of additional damage of the wearer's Memosprite type equal to 250% of the total consumed HP to the attack target after the next attack launched by the wearer's Memosprite. The total HP consumed is then reset. When the wearer's Memosprite uses a Memosprite skill, increases the damage taken by all enemies by 18% for 2 turns, and the same type of effects cannot stack. Hyacine is going to want a very high speed amount, being over 200, and this Lightcone increasing her speed by 18% is super good, especially since her base speed is on the higher side, so it being a percent base speed increase is going to be very nice. On top of that, it gives it access to a bit of HP burn, which is primarily great for Blade and Casters specifically. Also technically melee, but he's not really noticeable for him. And it will also further increase the damage that Hyacine can do, because not only is Hyacine a fantastic healer who acts a lot for good healing, at the same time Hyacine with the help of Ika does very solid damage. And thus further increasing that is going to be great. On top of that, now you're actually able to make enemies take increased damage as well, with 18% at that. So now your entire team will be doing more damage to the enemies at the same time. So not only is she buffing HP and keeping you alive and doing good damage, she's now debuffing enemies to take increased damage as well. So this is far and none her best option. Now another one that's going to be super good with her is going to be the free-to-play Herda Shop Lightcone, which increases the wearer's speed by 6%, and after the wearer uses skill, it increases damage dealt by all allies by 8% for 3 turns. And at S5, it becomes a 12% increase to speed with a 60% increased damage dealt for your allies. So again, the speed increase is going to be really nice to help you hit over 200 speed. And Hyacine is a character that spams skill because you need to actually get energy back to keep uptime on her ultimate. And so because you are always spamming skill, you practically get a free 16% damage dealt increase to your entire team for, again, practically forever. So making her easier to build with more speed and also giving your team more damage with the increase of damage dealt is why it's a fantastic and also free to play option to use. Now unfortunately, those are really the only 2 options you want to use. So her signature Lightcone obviously being significantly better, and the Herda Shop Lightcone thankfully being free. Those are definitely the options you do want to use, as they both benefit her very well. The rest of them Remembrance Lightcones are either focused on damage or in ways that don't really help her. If you don't have either of those options available, it kind of just become on using one of them that could somewhat help. Like if you for some reason have Castrus's Lightcone available, you can technically use it because it is an HP stat stick, so not only does it have really high HP at base as well, and then with the effect it gives you a 30% increase to max HP at the same time. And if you somehow get the second part with the defense ignore up, it's going to increase damage even further. And then at the end you do get the wearer's action advance when the Memosprite does disappear. Bit tricky to use, especially with how much you are refreshing, so you practically would be ignoring this part. It's mainly for the fact that it has high base HP and also does give a big max HP increase that Hyacine could use. Same thing would also apply to using something like Agla's Lightcone, which does increase the wearer's base speed by 12, and after the wearer and the wearer's Memosprite does attack, you gain a stack that's going to be able to increase their crit damage by 9%, which you are able to actually stack this up because Hyacine herself is spamming the skill, while Ika is going to be the one attacking, so Ika can stack it up, not nearly as fast as someone like Agde would obviously, but you are still getting some crit damage for the last part. Even if you were able to get to this, it's something you would practically ignore, so it's mainly for the fact that it increases your base speed. So past those, you're not really working with anything else. It's mainly get a signature option. If not that, use the Herda Shop Lightcone. Those are going to be your main 2, and if you somehow have a spare of one of these, then you can opt to use one of them. For some of her relic sets that you would want to run, her new best in slot is actually going to be coming out in the 3.3 update as well, and that is going to be this relic set right here, which the 2-piece does provide a 6% increase in speed, and when the wearer and their Memosprite provide healing to allied targets aside from themselves, which they have AoE healing, the wearer gains Gentle Rain, which can be triggered 1 time per turn for 2 turns, and while the wearer does have the Gentle Rain buff, increases their speed by 6% and gives everyone 15% crit damage and cannot be stacked. As I mentioned, Hyacine wants to get as much speed to get above 200, so this giving you 12% speed is practically running 2-piece speed, while also giving you access to a buff to give everyone crit damage, which is why it's actually going to be her best in slot, as she is also able to very easily stack it up. If you are not using that, the only other option really is to run 2-piece Relieved Ordeal and 2-piece Hackerspace, as they both have the same 2-piece increasing speed by 6%. If you already have over 200 speed with just running one of them, so if you have one or the other and you have over 200 speed, then you can change that to running the Passerby set instead for the 2-piece Outgoing Healing increase. So it would be 2-piece Outgoing Healing and 2-piece of one of the speed sets. So if you want to have a usable set, 2-piece speed, or 2-piece speed and 2-piece outgoing healing, and then you would wait for her best in set, which is the set I did talk about in the beginning, as that will once again be her best. For Planar Ornaments, her best one is going to be the Giant Tree Ornament, which provides a 6% increase to the wearer's speed, and when the wearer's speed is 135/180 or higher, the wearer and their Memosprite's outgoing healing increases by 12%/20%. So it practically becomes free speed and also a free 20% outgoing healing increase for Hyacine and her Memosprite. As once again, a Hyacine, regardless of whatever situation you're in, is going to want to have over 200 speed primarily. And so if you are over 180, so in this case you'd be over 200, so by proxy you're over 180, you're getting that free 20% increase to outgoing healing, and you're also getting some help with that with a 6% speed increase, and this will overall be her best option to run. Another option you can technically use is actually going to be Von Walk. If you are somehow not already outspeeding your team, this can be good, so you can make sure you set up Hyacine right away with a 5% increase to energy regen rate, and as she does want to spam her ultimate, this does help with that. But once the rare reaches 120 or higher, which she will have no issue of, the wearer's action is advanced forward by 40% immediately upon entering battle. If you are in some ungodly position where you somehow are getting outsped by someone, and Hyacine is not already going first with having over 200 speed in battle, maybe you have certain setups, certain characters with high speeds that also have action advances in their base kit, this will actually help you guarantee that, because if you have over 200 speed plus this, there is no way you are not having Hyacine go first, and will help you set up right away. So this is a bit more niche, but it is an option you can definitely use. If not either of those, you still can just opt to use one of the supportive sets. This will obviously change depending on where you are using, so if you're using it with a hyper carry or like a dual DPS setup, something like Broken Keel for giving everyone 10% crit damage works. On top of that, giving her 10% effect res, you just need to make sure you have 30% or higher effect res. If not that, you could use something like Penacony if you're running her alongside another Wind DPS. Same thing would also apply to something like Ageless, which the max HP buff actually helps her as well. You just want to make sure you're running her on a team that actually does benefit from the attack, which she's primarily going to be ran with HP scalers, so it's going to be a bit niche. She does work fantastic with general DPSs we already had that are not HP scaling. But if you are running her in a team that would benefit with the attack, then it can be good. Same thing as applies to running her with a hyper carry with someone else that is a attack scaler, with Lushaka giving you 5% energy regen rate as well, and giving 12% attack to the character positioned first in the team lineup. So if they benefit from attack percent, then they would very much like her running Lushaka. So those would overall be your options. For the main stats on the relics, for the body, you want to run outgoing healing. For the feet, you want to run speed. For the orb, you want HP percent. And for the link rope, you want energy regeneration rate. For the substats, first, you want to prioritize to get speed, get it above 200, and then as much as possible. Getting it to 200 is going to be your first goal, and then anything past that will be nice as it does increase outgoing healing, but you do definitely want to get to 200 speed at base. This is difficult if you don't have a Lightcone helping with that, but you still definitely want to focus on it, and then anything past that is still going to be good. You just don't need to focus on speed as much past 200. Past that, you want to get more max HP rolls, or if you're running Broken Keel, obviously make sure you get enough effect res. And then you could also throw in some defense rolls so she's more tanky, but primarily you're just going to be focusing on HP stats. And you also do want to get some crit damage because she's guaranteed crit, so getting more crit damage will further increase the damage you do. So again, first you want to prioritize speed, get it to 200 or higher. After that, if you are running Broken Keel, focus on getting the requirement of 30% effect res. Past that, more max HP and also some crit damage rolls will help. And yep, that is the full build guide for Hyacine. Once again, hope you guys found the video helpful. If you did, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and tell the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all other types of Star Wars content and guides. And I'll see you later. Peace out.